technology store. Oh yeah, Alan Lang watching Tropical Flare. Movie and TV show reviews what you need. Film threats on fire, we're planting the seeds. Film threat, we keep it real. Dive into the stories, you know the deal. Turn the fun, it's the place to be. Movie lovers gather round. 1, 2, 3. From blockbusters to indie gold. Oh yeah, Chris and Alan break the mold. Pop your corn, turn down the lights. Get ready to groove through movie nights. Film threat, we keep it real. Dive into the stories, you know the deal. Turn the fun, it's the place to be. Movie lovers gather round. 1, 2, 3. Grab your popcorn, sit right down. Film threat's the hottest show in town. Yeah. Laughs, chills, and deep debates. Chris and Alan, let's celebrate. Woo! Film threat, we keep it real. Dive into the stories, you know the deal. Turn the fun, it's the place to be. Movie lovers gather round. 1, 2, 3.
He went away.
Mr. Gore, we will definitely do this for you. Go ahead, Camilla.
Alan. And don't forget to get out and vote.
Did you forget?
What in the name of AI was that?
Yes, that was definitely AI.
By the way, I did find this. I don't buy popcorn buckets, but I have to buy this one.
A friend of mine went to get it. They were sold out on Wednesday. Could you get an extra for me?
I'll go today, and if they have it, I'll pick one up.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
You're a good friend.
Yeah,
I love it.
I'm
That's
not gonna
awesome.
tell you where I got it, so no one.
Good. Yeah, don't tell me.
Yeah.
I'll say this that you sent me a text, and I am so excited. Tell everyone what you texted me last night.
Yes, I've seen my favorite movie of the year. And what I didn't tell you in that is you will not believe where it came from. We'll just leave it at that until we get to reviews.
Okay, let's do that. Hey, we've got people joining us here, and we have some super chats out off the top. So let's see who's here in the chat. Yeah.
Jeremiah becomes a YouTube member.
Thank you for that. And holy heck
from Suns and Shadows for $49.99, a penny away from 50. Let's get this party started. Thank you for all your work and inspiration. You were instrumental to our journey 3 years for us. Let's effing go. Fridays with Film Threat party.
Hell yeah. Thank you. That is super generous, Sons and Shadows.
Absolutely.
It certainly cheers me up. I'm getting some weird emails from people. Weird emails. Very strange lately. And I never got weirdness before, and things are getting weird. I'll just leave it at that. So it's encouraging to get some positivity. I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, from Kavoth Rawl, cringe level 1,000. I love it.
Yes, I will say it's the dancing part actually. Yes.
Oh, it's kind of long. That sounds long. Darth Yeager, happy Friday, fellow humans.
And holy cow.
Sons and Shadows, not only that, he gifts 5 Film Threat memberships.
That's awesome. Thank you. Hey, go to the members page. Guess what? On the members videos, videos for members only, there is a Q&A with Elton John. I went to see his documentary, and RJ Cutler was there, the director, and Elton John was there, and I filmed. It was like a 20-minute Q&A for members only. I'm going out on a limb for you. And Alan also, he was at Newport Beach Film Festival.
Yes,
he is uploading all of his videos.
I'll have a couple videos.
And Catalina Island. Look for those videos coming up shortly.
One day.
Thank you.
Unless you just want a video of me walking down the boardwalk.
No, that'd be boring.
That's exactly.
Okay.
But, I do have I'll be posting a video of Peter Sarsgaard and then the Q&A of my favorite movie this year so far.
Okay.
Okay.
And here we go.
And Lord Thoth, like, share, subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications. Sign up as a member. Join us on X, Discord, or Rumble, Instagram, and buy our merch at shop.filmthreat.com.
You know who has not bought our merch? I'm very disappointed. Is Tyler Disney has no merch.
What?
Tyler, thank you. First of all, Tyler Disney, thank you. We hung out with Tyler earlier this week at the Latino celebration of cinema and television. Tyler hung out with us, and thank you for that. That's very generous, Tyler. Let's go get sushi. But more than anything, you need a Film Threat shirt. Vote Film Threat, our election collection, still here through November 5th. There you go. Thank you. And Albert, not a retro for 2. Simu Liu is so proud. Where is his ponytail? And Eric Stratton.
Remember, for 22 months, the 2 interviews on Wednesday were fire. Some of the best I've had pleasure to see. Wild Apartment and Beer Tours 2.
We have an interview today with friend of the show, Tommy Avallone, who did a documentary called The House From, which is about famous houses, like the Back to the Future house, the Halloween house, all the famous houses you've seen in TV and movies. He made a documentary. Tommy will be with us later today. And also, I'm arranging an interview with the director of The Apprentice.
Okay.
And we will do it live. I want to talk to him. We talked to him.
That's right.
Let's do an interview. We are bringing you more interviews. And on our interviews channel, if you have not seen lately, 2 of the films we're reviewing today, we did interviews with the filmmakers. I'll go there right now.
Yeah.
We interviewed Edward Berger, who did the Oscar-nominated All Quiet on the Western Front. I talked to him. I talked to the director, so that's Conclave. I talked to the director of Memoirs of a Snail. So go to our Film Threat Interviews channel. We are interviewing filmmakers. We don't always do them live, but we put them on there. And we even took the Boondock Saints Troy Duffy interview is here. Let's see, we have Memoir of a Snail is coming up. Get to talk to see my conversation. I love stop motion. And then Edward Berger. Let's talk to director. Sorry about that. But yeah, we take the clips of the interviews from here. We put them in there. We also, Alan and I both do interviews only for the interviews channel. So please subscribe.
And the best interview so far on the channel is my interview with Stephen Merchant.
Yeah, it still is. I would put that near the top. Although I'd say Troy Duffy, very good. So, all right.
If you want to learn about filmmaking, watch the Stephen Merchant one.
Yes, it's excellent. Okay. Here we go. Let's start with our first topic, and then we're going to reviews. We have a lot. Okay. Juror number 2 could be Clint Eastwood's last film. Sad to say. We reported earlier this week that the film might open in only 30 theaters, which is sad. But we're learning now that this truly could be his last movie. And I spoke with someone, emailed back and forth with someone who has seen it, and Juror number 2, I hear, is very good. It's Nick Holt. So,
I mean, the more I think about it, are they just doing that limited release for 30 and then just slowly rolling it out, or are they truly trying to bury it?
I think they are trying to bury it. Here from Variety. Let me share screen here. Juror number 2 could be Clint Eastwood's last film. So why is Warner Brothers burying it? It's basically everything that we said is now in this article. AFI Fest, the longest running film festival in Los Angeles, will cap its 38th edition Sunday evening with the world premiere of Clint Eastwood's Juror number 2 at the TCL Chinese Theater in Hollywood. Stars Nicholas Hoult, Toni Collette, and Zoe Deutsch will walk the red carpet, which marks the 4th festival's 4th world premiere of an Eastwood-directed feature. The courtroom drama is the filmmaker's 40th directorial effort, and given he's 94 years old, potentially his final one. And this movie, 4 days later, Warner Brothers will give Juror number 2 a somewhat less distinguished treatment. The studio is putting out the feature in a limited release of less than 50 theaters, according to 2 sources with knowledge of the film's distribution, with no current plans to expand to more locations in the following weeks. What we reported, which was a rumor then, we've now is in the trades. Kind of sad to see, but we will see the movie. I'm hoping we get to see it in one of the theaters we normally go to. What are your thoughts on that, Alan?
Yeah. Again, it's one of two things. It's either a really bad movie or there's something sinister going on, and that they would do this to Clint Eastwood's reputation, his legacy. And I don't know which one it is, and we'll just have to see the movie to find out.
Well, I haven't seen it. But someone I know has worked with Eastwood. And I can say that what he tells me is that what kind of has happened with Eastwood in his waning years is that his crew, his staff, kind of ghost directs his movies because he is older. And he even, and other people who worked with him will even talk about this, he works from 9 to 5. Like, it's not normal. Like, most film sets are like 18-hour days is normal. He's done by dinner, right? But I'm told, I don't want to get into specifics, but I'm told that in his waning years, his crew is basically taking on the duty of kind of ghost directing for him. In spite of that, I hear the movie is very good.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I mean, honestly, you could run the country that way.
I think that's the point. When you've hired good people in positions,
yeah,
they I feel like we're maybe in this position now, right?
Yeah.
We have someone in power up there.
Likes to go on vacation, takes lots of
maybe
naps,
going out on the beach, little dementia. And you know what? The country still runs. So make of that what you will. I, for one, I will go see it. I'm going to pay to see it. And I can't wait. So let's go to your comments here.
Lord Comet. Okay. Good morning.
You know it's Lord Comet.
Comet it's one T. That's how it's spelled in English.
How does the T change?
Even with my dyslexia, I know that Comet is spelled with one T.
T. All right.
Good morning, Chris Gordon Allen.
Love it.
Portland 182 Juror number 2 trailer is on YouTube. It looks great. What a cast.
Yep.
Thomas Pickett, he is 95. We're lucky to get we are lucky we got this one. Albert, not a retro for 2. Well now Eastwood will make one more for spite.
Yeah, I want to see him live to 100 and make a movie at 100.
Yeah. Or will they just fire him and let us make the next movie?
Sure.
The one no one voted for. The Nerd Far Away says Clint Eastwood will go out on a win before Kathleen Kennedy.
That is probably very true. Unfortunately.
Well, okay. We'll talk about it later.
All right.
Little notes here. I'm foreshadowing. Let's just say I'm foreshadowing right now.
All right. Okay. Hey, we have another news topic. Then we have we have 7 movies to review today.
Yep.
Alan, you are my density. You're not going to say anything?
Yeah. I wish I was the one dying.
We'll talk about Venom later in the show, but early reports, Venom 3 makes $8.5 million in previews, lowest of the trilogy. I was going to say, I thought we will both discuss it later. I kind of think that's pretty good. My expectation was low. I actually think 8.5 is kind of impressive, but it is the lowest of the Venom movies.
Yeah, but not by much. I think by 1.5 million, according to the article. If you read it, if you want me to read it.
Yeah, just get to this paragraph because there's so much word salad in a lot of these stories. The headline, that's the news. And reading these sometimes is like someone trying to, and I know because I've done it. When I was in school, high school and college, I would pad an essay to get to the word count. It has to be an essay, 1,000 words. We need 1,000 words. And I would pad stuff kind of like Kamala Harris talking, actually. I think when she could talk for paragraphs and say nothing. And that's kind of what
you gotta fill time.
Gotta fill time. You gotta get words. But just this paragraph here, why don't we just read that one?
Here we go. The threequel is on track to make 65 million in its opening weekend, which will be the lowest debut of the trilogy, comprised of the original Venom and its sequel, Venom: Let There Be Carnage. The Last Dance is on track to launch at 180 million globally and has earned 35.8 million worldwide so far. Even though the Venom movies don't cross over with the Tom Holland Spider-Man in the MCU, they've proven to bring out their audience, their hardcore fans, despite being unpopular with critics. The third movie carries a fairly modest $128 production budget.
$120 production budget.
That's pretty good. That's it. It'll be the most profitable movie.
It's already in profits. Oh my god. Typo for Variety. I forgive them. We have typos on our site.
I know. Okay. I have no reason to call them.
It's all good. So okay, well that's I actually think that's impressive because I don't think there could be any less interest in Venom 3 than I don't know. I just think that it's got to be. We will discuss it later. But I wasn't looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the popcorn bucket more. Got to get that bucket.
Yeah.
But there you go. I actually think that's a win because there were no expectations. Hey, Adrian Curry is here.
Hey,
the super sticker for 10. She's a member. Thank you, Adrian. Such a supporter. We love her. Come on the show. Adrian, come on the show one of these days. Love to have you on. I see you do your makeup. I see you do your makeup. I see you selling Avon. Look, buy Avon from Adrian. Get your deals. She always is doing deals.
And I'll say my wife is a massive fan. Alan Horkin, the future of ChatGPT writing garbage articles, then ChatGPT summarizing garbage articles. By the way, Reuters and Meta AI just signed a multi-million-dollar deal.
Most news stories will just be regurgitated nonsense. So there you go.
Brock Samsonite, the popcorn bucket better let me eat Venom's popcorn brains.
That's what's going to happen. All right. It's now time to pivot to our first review. If you would prep the Alan's on poster duty. What should we review first?
Let's see. Not that one. Or do you want to do that one?
We're definitely doing it. Let's start off light with
Okay.
There we go. Okay. There you go. You do one, then I'll do one. We'll ping pong.
Okay. Yep. So Americans with No Address. It's a documentary. This documentary does what I love about documentaries and why you should see it. But this addresses the homeless crisis here in America. The fact that for the past decade, if not longer, the homeless rates have risen across the nation, and people like to blame the pandemic, but it was already in a bad place, and the pandemic only made it exponential in terms of the problem. And so this is a documentary that just really digs deep and says this is why the homeless problem is occurring. It starts with what we all know, and it was with the elimination of mental health hospitals. A report came out in the 80s that people were being abused and dying at mental health institutions. And so what does the government do? They shut them all down. And then rather than fix the problem, rather than trying to get the right people in these positions, they just shut them all down. And that's what started this homeless crisis. Then you have the opioids, you have the economy. COVID certainly didn't help. This movie goes through the history. But what I like about this movie and why you should see the movie is it has solutions. It will tell you how you solve this problem. And I will point out one thing. There's 4 organizations that really have actionable and successful solutions to the homeless problem. And one of them basically says, look, we're an institution that can hold about 100 people. They bring them in and they just put them through rehab. Each person gets a case manager. Day by day, they just work through getting off of drugs and then finding the courage and the strength to go on and live a normal. The average person spends maybe 30 days in there in that institution before coming out. And then here's the thing that will piss you off. The director of that organization took their budget and divided it per person per day. How much does it cost to help a homeless person get off drugs per day? He calculated it was $22. $22 per person per day. Can you imagine? They also go into the fact that we are spending billions of dollars on the homeless industrial complex. Billions of dollars basically to keep people alive, not to solve their problems, not to help them, but just to keep them alive by giving them an endless supply of drug paraphernalia, clean drug paraphernalia, and then a stipend in which they can go out and buy more drugs with it. And this is the thing is, if you divide the amount of money we're spending on the homeless, divided by the actual number of homeless, the numbers are insane. And you wonder why the government the inefficiencies of this government, it will piss everyone off, and no one's talking about it except one side of the aisle. In fact, I think if a certain person gets in, I believe Elon Musk is going to be looking at this inefficiency problems. But this movie will inspire you and it'll piss you off at the same time. And so, go out. This just gives you a very clear overview of what the homeless problem is and the fact that we can solve it, yet the government doesn't want to do it.
You recommend this movie?
I absolutely recommend this movie.
Yeah, so I do love documentaries like this. I love documentaries that sincerely, factually, unemotionally look at an issue and actually look at it with a positive agenda, but the agenda towards solving the problem.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm happy to see this. I think we need more docs like this, and I will check it out. Is it in theaters? Or how do you see it?
It is in theaters. Let me go back. I put in the notes.
There's a website.
Yeah, there's a website. Americans with No Address. There's also a movie, No Address, starring Xander Berkeley, that is in conjunction with this. But it is okay. So it is in limited release and is also on streaming.
Okay, so it is on streaming.
Yes, you can see it now.
Okay. All right. There is a place you can see it. So if you go to the website, let me
is that it,
share screen right there. It's all good, Alan. It's all good. Americanswithnoaddress.com, link in the description. You can see where to see the film. It is in theaters. It's at the Laemmle NoHo 7 Theater in Hollywood. And all the information on how to see the film. We need more movies like this to solve issues. I'm encouraged when something like this comes out, which actually is focused on addressing the issue. Too often we see documentaries that it's financed by a company with an agenda. I won't say what exactly. I won't call certain things out, but certain docs, maybe on medical issues, they're actually pushing something specific.
Yeah.
So
weirdly, those documentaries, all it wants to do, those kinds, is to just create fear, to say there's a problem. And this one says there's a problem, but gives you an actual solution.
Thanks, Alan. Great. Let's go to comments here.
Okay, Adrian Curry. Hey, the crisis is all the organizations that raise money for it and pocket it all.
That's true, especially when you look at the money that people are making at the top. These heads of these organizations making hundreds of thousands of dollars
for administrative costs.
BS. Look, thank you, Adrian, for keeping it real.
New York City is renting up hotels at top dollar. These hotels couldn't, they normally charge maybe $100 a night. They are bilking the government and getting hundreds of dollars every night for these hotels that no one's going to. Filius Solis is a juicy business in California, and again,
as a fact,
and if you solve the problem, those people don't make money anymore, so they got to keep it going. Albert, not a retro for $2 Canadian. People got to get paid, Alan. Okay. Lord Comet for $2. Very awesome. 10 points for Gryffindor.
Thanks, Lord Comet. Sorry.
Deeds MN, because people make lots of money not solving it. Yep.
True. That's the definition of our government at this point. Throw money at a problem, don't solve it. Keep the problem going to keep spending money. And right here, we have not. Tina Guzman for 2. Did you happen to review Conclave? If so, did you like it? We haven't yet. We will get to it. All right. Pivoting on our next review. Let's review something you haven't seen.
Okay.
We can do Magpie.
Sure.
Have you seen that, Alan?
I have not seen that.
You've not seen it?
I've been at
Alan.
I've been at a festival. I'm going to another festival this weekend.
Okay, good. All right, folks. The best thing about Magpie is it stars Daisy Ridley. Daisy Ridley plays Annette. She is married to a guy named Ben, and their daughter is an actress. She's a child actress starring on a TV show that's kind of like a Bridgerton show. Ben takes his daughter to the set every day, where Ben kind of makes friends with Alicia, a young actress played by Matilda Anna Ingrid Lutz, who plays the sort of stepmom to their daughter in the show, right? And Ben and Alicia have kind of a flirtation. Annette is at home dealing with, she's dealt with anxiety, depression, having troubles with work, trying to get her career back, while she sees her husband go off to work on a film set with his daughter. You can kind of see through the thing that Ben is kind of a dirtbag. He's not a super responsible dad, and he's more interested in his relationship with Alicia, the actress on the set, than he is in his own daughter and his marriage. And then this kind of turns into something of a thriller, because Ben and Alicia have they're texting things to each other they shouldn't be texting to each other. And Annette is a bit suspicious. If I go any further in this, I will ruin the story. This film was actually, the story came from Daisy Ridley herself. She has story credit, and she's an executive producer. It plays out like a thriller. And I'll say this, I was all in. Like, it starts off really slow. When things get intense and Ben is being deceptive about this emerging romance with this actress on the set that he shouldn't be having, it turns into kind of a dark thriller. And is Annette seeing things? Are they really in a relationship? She has seen some of the text messages. What's going on? Things take a turn in the third act. If I go any further, it will spoil the movie. I guessed what the ending was. it's exactly what you think. And in the end, when I figured it out and it's revealed, I wasn't surprised. It's like, that's it. This could have been a short film. I've always been a Daisy Ridley defender. I think she's a very good actress. She's very likable. But I'll say, I think the only reason people might be interested in seeing this is because of her. It plays like a thriller. In the end, I hate to say this, in the end, it's like, wah, wah, that was it. And I guessed it. And when I guessed the ending almost halfway through, I'm like, they won't do that because that's too stupid. And then they did that. That's all I'll say. This is a streaming movie. It's only in theaters today. I don't know where it's playing. It's got to be limited release. But this is a movie that should have gone direct to streaming. Very mixed on it. I can't recommend it. Probably 5 out of 10. But it had me there. It was building up to something, and it did not deliver. And Ben, the lead man, the father, husband, is kind of a dirtbag from the beginning through and through. He doesn't go through an arc. He just is a jerk, and he's a jerk. That's it. No surprise. So can't recommend it. And I will say this. There was a report recently that the Daisy Ridley starring Star Wars movie has lost their screenwriter. I've got the story. I'm not going to bring it up, but they lost the screenwriter. I think the main thing is a Star Wars movie led by Daisy Ridley may be not the guarantee you think it will be. I like her as an actress. I think she has chosen unwisely in terms of her post Star Wars roles. So disappointing effort. Again, if I saw this on streaming, I'd think, all right, that's fine. But I can't imagine going to the theaters to see it. And I think Daisy Ridley, if she is the main draw of a Star Wars movie, I think her post Star Wars career proves she really isn't a draw. This is not getting a wide release. So make of that what you will. There you go.
You went to that Q&A with her for Young Woman in the Sea. Were you impressed with her there, or?
I like her. She is very likable. She's gotten into, while we've seen a lot of Star Wars actors get into trouble saying things that are kind of ridiculous. I think I like watch her on the Josh Horowitz podcast. She's very endearing. I like her. She is not chosen well. And she's got a really, I think maybe the best thing she's done is Young Woman in the Sea. And we were mixed on that. But I liked her in Star Wars. It's just, I mean, we don't have to relitigate that. We did a whole court case.
Her performance was fine.
The scripts, the sequel stories and scripts were awful. Awful. So we need to go through that. But Daisy Ridley, she came up with this story. She is given story credit. She's an EP on the film. This is all her. She owns this. And it's well,
I mean, it sounds like a decent first effort. Not out of the park. It's a single. She got a single, basically.
I could spoil it, and if I did, you would think that is so dumb. If I told you what the twist at the end is, I mean, M. Night Shyamalan would think it's lame. Again, it's a pass for me.
Yeah.
Here we go. Let's go to your comments.
Yeah. Let's do it. Albert, not a retro for 10. Putting more money onto men's mental health would solve a lot of problems. Domestic violence, SA, and homelessness, substance abuse and homelessness. But there's too much money and nobody cares about men anyway.
SA means something else.
No, that would be SE.
No, SA means something else.
How is it something else?
It's sexual assault.
Okay.
Or
okay,
maybe
I thought you meant
substance
something else.
abuse. No, it's all good.
Substance abuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, because domestic violence would be what you were thinking.
Yeah. I don't think we'll be able to do as many comments in between things now. So I'll get to as many of these.
We
as
can fire
can.
through these. This is
But
fine.
thank
Alan
you.
Horkin,
Always.
Daisy Ridley playing mom's role already. Damn, that was a short career.
Yeah, well, the kids are young. I mean, the daughter's like 5 or 6. So it's realistic. I mean,
yeah, I'm just saying,
thanks,
fire
Alan.
through these real fast. 21 Palika, Mulholland Drive. JPTRX, what if Chris figured it out? Must be if Chris figured it out, must be a pass. Adrian Curry, she's stunning and cute as a button.
Yeah, I like her. I really like her. I like her. She needs to be in better movies.
Yeah. Unfortunately, her career's in woke Hollywood period. So Stephen Mack, she's average at best. Lord Comet, mute the movie. I'll just watch her. LOL.
Lord Comet, are you still doing that, Alan?
Yeah, I have.
All right, let's pivot to our next film. How about something you have seen that I have not?
Yes.
And we'll get to Venom at the top of the hour.
Okay.
Okay. This looks really interesting to me. I love Alfred Hitchcock. Alan, tell me about this movie.
Okay. I will say that this is not my favorite movie of the year, but it's pretty high up there. My name is Alfred Hitchcock. What you would think that this is a documentary on the life of Alfred Hitchcock, but it's not. It's something even better. It is a masterclass in filmmaking, as if it were led by Alfred Hitchcock.
Wow.
The movie is just nothing but clips and clips and clips of Alfred Hitchcock movies with a actor impersonating him, and lo and behold, the actor's name. But what this movie is just the idea is Alfred Hitchcock, a disembodied voice, comes back and discusses his theories of filmmaking. And the movie is broken up into chapters. One is on the first chapter is about his approach to filmmaking and what films should be. For example, when he makes a movie, he wants to draw the audience into that movie, and he shows examples of 2 films where his character walks through a door. And then you see a shadow of the door closing behind him. The camera follows him in. The door closes, because you see a shadow and you hear a click. And he says that simple action, as an audience, draws you not only into the movie, but now ingratiates you with that character. And now you are that character. And now you can watch this movie play out. It's a way of inviting you into the story. Let's see. Then he goes into themes. For example, this idea of escape. All of his thrillers, it's about, he places his characters in situations where they have to escape. One will be in a crowded room looking around to go out. The other is, in a locked room with someone else. In North by Northwest, Cary Grant is trying to escape in a large cornfield. And it's themes that he has when he does these thrillers. He goes on to desire, and this is where this chapter about desire is what the whole discussion of the male gaze comes from, because the way Hitchcock shoots films women, frames them. There's a movie, let me see, in Vertigo, Jimmy Stewart walks into a bar. Bar is full of people, but in the corner is Kim Novak. She's wearing this green dress and it's backless, and your eye is just drawn to her, the male gaze. But he uses film to evoke this emotion of desire. Goes on to loneliness, where characters are by themselves. They are alone in the world. There's no one there that they can call to. Tippi Hedren in The Birds. She's in a house by herself and it's being attacked by birds. Then he goes on to talk about time and how he uses film to control time. He calls it the time machine, where if your character needs to do something, needs time to speed up, well, as the director, you need to slow it down for them to build that. And he goes on to fulfillment. He goes on to height. Why a lot of his films are shot from above. This is just a masterclass in filmmaking. And what you realize at the end of this is that Alfred Hitchcock is very intentional in the way he shoots his movies. That no scene is just, he's not just setting up a camera, framing a shot, and letting the actors do their thing. He has intention because he needs to build emotion. He needs you to feel certain things in certain ways in the story, and he uses camera and able to make it to enable him to do that. There's one interesting point that I found fascinating was he discusses how, speaking of time, the opening of Psycho, it opens with the year, the date, and the time, and then from there, and then he sets you in Los Angeles, or he'll set you in Italy, very familiar locations, but what he's able to do is create kind of a parallel reality with that. So you're in Los Angeles, yet it feels somewhat off, like a fantasy world, and that's specific to design. So if you love movies, if you want to make movies, if you want to elevate your movie making, this is the movie to see.
So you recommend?
You absolutely recommend.
That's great. Let's go to your comments here.
All right, Francisco Sanchez Jr. for 20. The substance was good, 7 out of 10. The third act faltered. Felt like I was watching Carrie. Alan, thank you. Unsung Hero was very good. That's right, it was. Chris, have you seen Milk and Cereal? It's my favorite horror film of 2024, free on YouTube.
I have not seen it. Okay, Milk and Cereal. All right, but cereals spelled a different way. Thank you, Francisco.
Yes. Gorilla Biscuits. Tarantino thinks he's overrated. Ironic, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's called Solomon Thornton, one of my favorite filmmakers, the master of the bomb, under the table theory, and of suspense.
That's right. The ticking bomb, the winding up tension.
Yeah. Darth Yeager, is this male gaze the gayest gaze?
Wait, do that again.
This is the gayest gaze.
Thanks,
Games
Alan.
and gamers.
I had to get a good take of that.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to pivot to our next review. How about we review something both of us have seen, Conclave?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
I haven't seen it. I've been.
I have to do this review with you. We'll review something else.
Okay.
How about Memoir of a Snail?
Okay.
I want to review. Okay. That's all good. It's all good. We see a lot of movies.
I know.
So,
and I'm so not interested in seeing Conclave.
well, there you go.
But you want me to see it. I'll see it.
All right. That's good to hear. Memoir of a Snail is about two twins that are born. The one twin, a young girl named Grace Puddle, and her brother are born as twins. Sorry, I got to get the names right here. Grace Puddle, voiced by Sarah Snook. Grace was born with a cleft palate that is repaired, and she looks like a rabbit. So she is teased in school. Her brother helps her. This movie is a story that is so tragic, so depressing, while being all of these things, these sad stories, contrasted against things that are life-affirming and just funny. It is rated R. This is a stop-motion animated movie that is at once delightful, tragic, heartbreaking, and hilarious. And there's even, believe it or not, nudity and sex, as Grace and her brother, their father passes away, and they are both adopted by other families. The family that her brother is adopted by are religious fanatics. Grace is adopted by a couple of people who are swingers, who are basically barely home. She kind of plods through life being dealt a bad hand, starting with her cleft palate, which is repaired. And she has an affection for snails because they move through life slowly, but nothing stops them. So she collects things with snails. She finally ends up losing her virginity and gets married. That's short-lived. And it really is a series of unbelievable, both bittersweet and funny stories, all played out in stop motion. And then centering on her favorite snail, Sylvia, that she's friends with. She also collects things that are snail-like, snail rings, snail tchotchkes, and ends up becoming a hoarder. I could go into what a lot of these stories are. Really doesn't. I mean, you need to experience them for yourself. But by the end of this movie, this is so sad. It redeems itself with this incredibly life-affirming, sweet, tug at your heartstrings. You might end up bring tissues. You might end up crying by the end. Let me just say, I was very moved. And I always love when a film that's animated, I mean, you're watching this and you're so moved by the events. I thought it was awesome. I interviewed the director. The style of the movie, it's not black and white, but the colors are beige. It's
sepia tone.
Yeah, sepia tone, all of that. And I love stop motion. They worked on this movie for 5 years. And the director told me that the story is based on a person he knows who was always dealt a bad hand in life, but no matter what happened, she persevered. And that's what the message of this movie is, whatever life hands you, the worst, most tragic things, just keep it on like a snail. And it's so endearing. It also reminds me, this animation isn't sweet. I mean, you see naked people at an orgy. I'm not joking, right? Now it's done playfully. It's not graphic. Okay.
It's for art's sake. Yeah.
It's yeah, but it reminds me of the animation from like people like the Brothers Quay. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but and Nick Cave does a voice in it, which I love. But God, it's like one of those, like by the end, I'm sitting here, the audience I was with clapped because I did watch a screener of it, but I'm like, I want to see this on the big screen, and completely different. So great to see like the stop motion on the big screen. You can see, and everything is all handmade. A lot of people don't know this. A lot of stop motion now is augmented by CG.
Mm-hmm.
This is handmade. Very little CG was used a lot of it's used to erase things, that are holding models in place.
Yeah, the wires and
stuff like that. But I truly was drawn in. It's 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm in the camp of loving it. And the director, Adam Elliott, also did a movie years ago called Mary and Max. Some of you may remember from 2009. He has a really distinct style. He's an Australian filmmaker. And if you love and appreciate stop motion, this is for you. I mean, for me, it's like 8 out of 10 easily. And it's also 90 minutes. Wow, perfect running time. I think too many movies we see overstay their welcome. They just do. They overstay the welcome. The north of 2 hours. You better have a real reason for why a movie is north of 2 hours.
Yeah. But then there is a reason why stop motion animation is 90 minutes.
It's hard to do.
Yeah, it's hard to do.
It's hard to do. So we get into it. Watch the interview on the interview channel where I talk to Adam. Strong recommend. Delightful. I don't think it's for kids. I know it's R-rated, but you could probably take someone 15, 16 to see it. But I wouldn't recommend like single digit age at all. No one under 10 at all. But 15, 16 could handle it.
Yeah, great way to introduce your kids to orgies.
Yeah, I mean it's played fun, right?
Okay.
It's not you see stuff, but it's in stop motion. You see boobs. You see
Yes.
stop motion boobs.
Yeah, that makes it all
Not gonna
better. That makes it
lie.
all right. Okay.
But I like this. Not everything animated should be for kids. I like more adult animation. And by adult, I don't mean pornography. I mean like adult themes.
Mhm.
And just you see her brother. There's a great story with the brother, the way the brother sister story plays out. Again, I'm not going to ruin anything, but they have a relationship. They're in separate families, trying to keep in communication. The brother again is persevering in his own way. So, God, I really like just having a sister myself. When anyone ever would challenge my sister, I mean, them's fighting words, and the brother in this is equally like stands up for his sister. I always admire that. So, really loved it. Just sweet. And God, I mean, so much. And the whole running theme with the snails, which pays off in the end, is just so beautiful. It's one of those where you're thinking about your life. And, I mean, this is warts and all, right? Lots of bad things happen in this movie, but the way that the story is told, you're able to look at it and laugh in the end. Well, maybe laughing through tears. So strong recommendation for this movie. I would say one of my favorite animated movies of the year, and I hope this gets an Oscar nom. Let's go to your comments here.
Okay. See if my screener still works. Yep. Okay, good. Albert, not a retro for 2. Chris was right. SA was a type of assault.
That's how I've heard it used. So thank you, Albert, for confirming I am right.
Still could be my way. Too. Makes more sense in the list. Okay.
No, that's what Albert's intent.
Domestic abuse.
I've heard other
abuse.
Hey, I've heard other podcasts when that term is when SA is used. That's what they mean.
Red French Moon. Nude snails. I believe they're called slugs. Yes. 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 Arona Sharman. Snail crocs.
No, I can't do snail crocs. That will not happen.
Apparently, Eddie Brock can do crocs. In fact, he prefers crocs. Davina Duckworth, animation at a snail's pace. Always look on the bright side of life.
Hey, anyone that sees this movie, by the end, you're going to feel it. You'll feel good. It has a feel good, but boy, the journey getting there is rough.
Bit slow. Krizik, I like that we're focusing on the orgies part of this. It's family fun.
I never said it was family fun. The movie is R-rated for a reason.
Okay.
I mean, it's R-rated for a reason. All right, let's get to our main movie for today. People have been waiting. If you would, Alan.
Yes. Oh, there you go. Okay.
All right. So here we go, folks. Let's talk Venom. Venom: The Last Dance is the third film in the, I can't believe I'm saying this, the Venom trilogy starring Tom Hardy. And of course, it's a buddy movie with Venom. It's I'll just say this. The first Venom I thought was fun. Interesting concept. It's I remember liking the first movie, didn't love it. The second movie, for me, I can barely remember it. And this film, Alan, tell us the story
Really?
of Venom: The Last Dance.
Okay.
Because I'll just say this before you get into the story, it's a mess. It is a mess and all over the place. And
that's why you want me to tell the story.
Yeah, I want to hear what you got out of it, because there were plot lines they introduced that didn't pay off.
Yeah.
And then there are things where they introduce certain things where I'm like, okay, well, moving on. And then it comes back. It didn't really need to. Tell us the story of Venom: The Last Dance, the basic
Okay.
story.
So this is what I figured out. So there's a powerful symbiote god named Null, and he has been banished to some place by the symbiotes because he became too evil and desired too much power. And so they banished him along with these creatures called xenophages, which are basically weird computer generated lizard fish people, creatures, whatever. All right, so he needs to find what is called the Codex Key in order to be released. And the only Codex Key in existence is the one that exists between Eddie Brock, played by Tom Hardy, and Venom, voiced by Tom Hardy. All right, and so all these creatures are sent out throughout the entire galaxy to find the Codex. And the way it's found, it's kind of like Lord of the Rings. The way that these creatures can find it is if Venom and Eddie Brock are in full symbiote mode, where the entire body. Okay, I have no idea how to describe it or what the word is.
Symbiosis. They're
Symbiosis.
one. They're one.
So when they're one, that activates the Codex, which allows everyone to find them. Again, just like Lord of the Rings. So when one xenophage shows up, Venom realizes that they're in trouble, and so now Eddie and Venom can no longer be fully symbiotic. So the movie's yeah, I know. So the movie is about him not getting caught.
And he has to fight these creatures.
Yes.
And it's a road buddy movie.
Yeah. I'll say this. I liked the buddy aspect of it, but it was interrupted too many times by plot.
Yeah, it's a road movie where they're trying to get to New York, and they go through Vegas and end up in Area 51. On the way, Eddie befriends a family.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's a guy, his wife, and two kids, and they want to go to Area 51. They want to see aliens.
Yep.
But they also focus on these scientists in the film that you don't care about at all, that have all the other symbiotes in like some stasis where they can't form, right, or go on to
they're in cages, so to speak.
Yeah, they're in cages.
And Stephen Graham from the last movie. Remember Stephen Graham in Carnage in the last movie? He's there too.
Yeah. And Chiwetel Ejiofor is in it as well.
Yeah. He's the military guy. And then Juno Temple is the hot, sexy scientist.
Right. And what's weird about Chiwetel Ejiofor, which I'm hopefully I'm pronouncing is Chiwetel Ejiofor. He was in Doctor Strange. Mm-hmm. So this is a different role for him in the Marvel universe. I don't know. Do we care anymore? There is a great joke at the beginning of the movie. He hates multiverses. There's a joke about how multiverses suck in the very beginning of the film. We're back to our normal universe. Okay.
And then they talk about a purple guy who snapped half the universe out of existence.
Yeah. And they're back to their universe or whatever. And we don't care. But Chiwetel Ejiofor is actually in the proper Marvel MCU universe in Doctor Strange, right?
Yes.
So make of that what you will. He's now sort of a military guy taking on these creatures, which are undefeatable. They're really tough to beat. They have a hard time like killing these things. Yeah. And truly, Venom, you get the sense that Venom could die from this creature that looks like something out of A Quiet Place. I like the buddy aspect of this. They took a buddy movie, road movie, being pursued by monsters. That's the simple way to explain this story. Everything is so stupid and over the top, especially when they get to Vegas. It gets so dumb. I'm like, it's like walking the line of comedy, really dumb comedy, and horror. As you see, like random soldiers are dispensed by these creatures, like by being eaten and ground up like when they ground up trees into a, what do they call those things that you put?
Yeah, like a food processor or a sausage making.
Keep going.
Or sausage making machine or
whatever. They spit out the blood the other side. It's gross. So people go in and come out as ground beef. Kind of nuts. But I'm watching Tom Hardy. I'm like, he had to say this with nothing around him. We're seeing that all the digital effects. There's the opening scene, which was in the trailer, where he takes on these thugs and saves these dogs.
Yeah.
Right there.
Well, I don't know if you stayed to the credits, but
I would say to the very end. There's a mid-credit scene and a very, very, very end credit scene. But yes,
the point I was making is Tom Hardy's a co-writer or co-story and a producer. I don't know what that means, but he is somewhat invested in this movie,
which is telling.
Yeah.
But I just was like, I mean, did they know this would be the last one? So
I think so.
They just, I mean,
they open themselves up to sequels that we don't want or care about.
Exactly. And even a friend of mine said, bring tissues.
I know.
I'm like,
when he said that, I'm like, no.
He said, you're going to get choked up. There's a moment at the end, I won't ruin it, where they obviously want you to feel something.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. I was like, no, you're not going to get that out of me.
It's so done. Nothing's really original about this movie. The whole thing where all the symbiotes come alive and do their thing. It's like, all right, well, I guess we have to do this. I just felt disconnected from this movie the entire time. Like I'm sitting back watching this movie for the sole reason of being able to talk about it the next morning. And, like I like this relationship between Venom and Eddie Brock, but so the opening scene is about establishing this relationship, and it's him mixing drinks, and I'm like, this is just the dumbest thing. Who thought of this? And the way Tom Hardy looks while he's doing it is like he's uncomfortable working around a green screen with CG. Like he doesn't know where to look. He just kind of stands there like a dolt. No, and
I disagree. I think he pulls it off. What I was impressed by is that it's green screen, or he's like doing, and it's all augmented CG after the fact. But I got to give him credit for what this was. Tom Hardy went for it.
Yeah,
I mean, it in the end, the movie as a whole doesn't work.
Yeah,
but
it says something about him to say, I'm in the world's worst movie, but I'm going to give it 100%. And that's what
what you did. That's what you should
do. A professional actor should do that. Absolutely.
And I'll just say, it's like, I'll say this, like, we can sit here and piss on the movie, and there's a thing where your shoes get pissed on. It's like they do every gross joke you can imagine with the concept, but I'll say this, all the dumb things that happen in the movie are no more or less dumb than what happens in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Dumb things like this also happen in the comics. So you could say, and I'm not as familiar with the Venom comics as I should be. I'll just say that, like, I've seen some really dumb things happen in comics. So, like, when they turn up in the movies, I'm like, well, to be fair, lots of dumb things happen in lots of comics. Like, you have to put an issue of a comic out every month. You're gonna hit rock bottom. You're gonna scrape the bottom of the barrel, and that's what this is scraping the bottom of the barrel for the concept. Now, the audience I saw it with had fun. If you're looking for fun, and I'll give the movie credit, it's 90 minutes. I couldn't believe it's tight 90. It's not 210 or 220. You know, it's 90-minute film. Thank you for keeping it tight. So I can't say I wasn't entertained. So I would say for me, it gets like I think it's, to be clear also, I don't think it's very good. I think it's ridiculous. There are plot lines completely jettisoned. There are stupid things that happen. But I kind of had fun. But I'll say this. The fun was a Madam Web like of fun, right? This is the Madam Web of Venom movies. Okay. So dumb fun, probably a 5 or a 6 if I had to rate it. So your mileage may vary. Probably a not recommend for most people. But if you thought Madam Web was dumb and had a good time, that's exactly what this is. It's stupid. And you're like, well, I'm kind of having fun. This is so stupid because the third act is so over the top. It is so over the top. You're like, all right, well, I guess that happened with the symbiotes possessing certain people with weapons and crazy shit happening. And I mean, it's over the top.
Yeah. I mean, look, when people get the symbiotes, they don't even put the effort into making it sound cool like Tom Hardy and Venom.
Right.
They just, the voice, especially the female voice, was just so annoying. It's like, yeah, this is how you distort a female voice. I hear it in commercials and TV and all that stuff. My biggest issue with this movie is there's nothing original about it. There's nothing really. There's nothing there that says, "Hey, we're telling a Venom story and you should see it." It's very bland. It's very, it's like, of course we have to have the military come in. Of course we have to have a science lab. Spoiler here, but of course the military has to take over the science lab.
Right.
It's like I've seen this all before, and being a Venom story doesn't elevate it in any way, which is what it should do. If you're going to tell a story that's been told before, tell it in your way, make it unique, and find exciting new things around that story. And this doesn't do it. You're just seeing Tom Hardy as Venom again, which is fine. He does good. I just wish there was a better story surrounding it.
But you did get the bucket. If you would show it to us. That's the good bucket.
Is that? I mean, look at that bucket.
AMC did a different bucket. I want one. I honestly do want one of those.
Okay, I'll stop by.
But no, wait a sec, Alan. There was a musical number that didn't sway you.
Oh gosh, I even forgot about it. What was the song?
The musical number, the dance number.
Oh, that's right.
That scene and that character. I forget the actress's name.
Yeah, I know
Peggy Lou. She plays Mrs. Chen, right?
But her character seems so out of. It's like, no. This is the evolutionary jump of this character, and I'm like, that's just too much.
Her character is made to appeal to the Chinese market.
Yes,
this movie will do very well in China.
Yeah, in fact, I'm pretty sure that's where this movie will get most of its money. Overseas.
So what is your final verdict? Mine is a 5 or a 6.
Mine's
Madam Web level fun, but dumb movie in the end.
Mine's a 4. I'll never see it again, and I'm already forgetting it.
Yeah, what happened in the movie? I can't believe I'm more generous, but it was the audience made it fun. I will not see this movie again either.
Well, the first movie is about their relationship, and it's all about their relationship. In this movie, it's the third one, so the exploring their relationship has been played out, and it feels like it's played out at this time. It's like, okay, if this is the end of the third, if the third movie is the end of this relationship, that's how it's going to play out. And even that wasn't original at all.
Now, so do you recommend it or not?
No.
Okay, mine is a bare recommend, but if you had fun at Madam Web, you'll have fun here. So
I had more fun at Madam Web. Let's put it that way.
Madam Web was terrible, and I had fun. The two things can coexist.
Yeah, exactly. Sydney Sweeney.
Let's go to your comments here.
Suns and Shadows for 5. If you don't like either of the first two, this is not changing your mind. If you liked either, you will like this. Tom Hardy made this movie, period.
Thanks, Suns and Shadows.
Yeah,
I agree.
It feels like a sequel if you liked it. Albert Not a Retro for 5. I heard the symbiote in Venom eats brains and then says, no thanks. That's BS. I'm out. Venom doesn't eat brains in the comics. This is stupid.
Thank you.
21 Palika. I heard the tales of old that movies used to be under 2 hours, under 120 minutes. Equity Group, is this the gayest Venom ever? I don't know. Is it? You seem to remember more of the first two movies than me. Is this the gayest Venom movie?
Yeah, probably is, but mainly because of the musical number.
Okay. Marco CCS 65. Even the musical number did not win over Al. Yep. I forgot even what song they were doing, and I'm pretty sure I like that song. Ron Enriquez. Here we go. Chris is going to say, I got choked up toward the end.
Nope. That is not true. There was the moment
we were
where
told.
they cried. There is. You see the scene that, like, the movie stops and they have a moment, and you're like, this is where they want to get you emotionally. And I was like, get out of here.
It wasn't written.
Get out of here with that. I did a Memoir of a Snail. I got choked up at that, not at Venom 3. No.
Davina Duckworth, bring tissues. I pity the cinema janitor. Yeah. Patrick Lemire, Fear and Loathing and Symbiotes in Las Vegas. Krizik, so this is another 48 hours with symbiotes.
Yes.
Caveat Ties, should we save The Last Dance for streaming?
I mean, again, your mileage may vary. I like going to the movies. So.
Gung Ho Mac, Master Storyteller Alan. Yeah, I'm still working on it. Godzilla 2K26. It exists because of the resurrection link from the first movie, creating the perfect bond. Yeah, that's brought into this. Patrick Lemire, stop xenophagophobia. And Gorilla Biscuits, does Madam Web show up? Does Madam Web show up? Wants to know.
No, but I wish she did.
Okay, and then finally from Suns and Shadows, Tom Hardy made this work. If he phoned it in, I did not like it as much.
No, I did not like it as much.
I'd not like if he phoned it in. I'd not like it. Okay,
it's all good.
Yeah.
All right, we still have more films to review. Wow, we went through that quick. That was like 15 minutes from comments to review. That's sort of like, I guess that's what it deserves. But let's go to another movie. Alan, you saw this film that I did not see.
Yes. Okay. Let's just say it. This is my favorite movie of the year.
Are you kidding me?
This is absolutely my favorite movie so far.
This is, is it coming theatrical? Music by John Williams.
Well, if you can see at the bottom there, it's coming November 1st to Disney Plus.
Oh my God.
Which is a shame because you should not be watching this. This is a movie about John Williams. You should be seeing this in the theater. Okay, let's get some context here. This is my favorite movie, and ironically, it's made by Lucasfilm.
Wow.
Okay. Let's throw this out there. It's produced by Frank Kent. What am I? Okay, Frank Marshall and Kathleen Kennedy. This movie may just win them an Oscar.
Are you saying that Kathleen Kennedy could go out on a high?
Yes.
On a high note?
On a high note.
Oh,
literally a high note.
Why? First of all, I only know this was on my radar. I want to see it. I saw the trailer for it and I got chills. I got chills. And I know something of John Williams' early life.
See, that's the thing. You say about his early life, and let's put it this way. John Williams' career took off in terms of films when he was 40.
Yeah.
So when you say his early life, the film paints his early life as very good, as like, I wish I lived his first 40 years of life. I wish my first 40 years of life was exactly like his.
Well, tell me why this doc is your favorite of the year.
Okay, this doc goes deep into John. I mean, let's face it. John Williams is is hands down the most prolific film composer ever. I mean, no one comes close. I'm gonna. It's controversial, but when you think of the number of movies that you can hum the score to that were written by John Williams, it pales in comparison to anyone else. Anyone else, because you'll bring up people and you can maybe hum one or two of their movies. John Williams, Star Wars, I could hum 6 themes in, for crying out loud. Raiders of the Lost Ark, E.T. Yes, he's prolific, but this movie really gets into how he got to this point, how he is as great as he is. This goes through his entire life. Just as kind of a background, John Williams has been conducting at the Hollywood Bowl for the last 35 years. I saw him 20 years ago. I've seen him twice. 20 years ago was the first time, and interestingly enough, he opened his concert with the Carousel Overture from Rodgers and Hammerstein, and I thought that was interesting because that's not a John Williams piece. And it was Carousel was on tour and was coming to Los Angeles. I think that's why he was doing it as well. But what I didn't know was his wife starred in Carousel as Carrie Pipperidge as the co-star in Carousel, and so that's kind of the connection he has. And this movie just goes into his life. He's a studio musician. He was doing radio, television, and then doing movies as a drummer. The whole family was into music. His siblings did music, and then he just started working as a pianist, learning jazz, doing piano for all this stuff. And then he was given opportunities to compose. In fact, he did the soundtracks for Gilligan's Island.
Oh my God!
Yeah, and so if there is tragedy in his life. When he turned 40, his wife passed away from an aneurysm.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. His wife.
Well, he was 40. He was 40 when that happened. In fact, he was 40 when he scored Steven Spielberg's first movie. This is in the mid 70s. It tells you, 40 is not. You can do a lot when you're 40, and B, he's still alive today, still doing this stuff. And the movie just kind of goes through these really interesting stories. One is for Home Alone, Christopher Columbus. There was his original composer ghosted him and just went out, and John Williams actually chased after him to do Home Alone because he wanted to do a Christmas movie. The Close Encounters, they showed this giant sheet of music, sheet music, and on it were about, I'd say, 60 variations of 5 notes. And what Spielberg and Williams did was just went through each one until they found the 5 notes they liked, and that was the one you hear in Close Encounters. And then they bring this music, this expert in music to talk about why those 5 notes worked compared to all the other ones, and it's a really fascinating conversation. John Williams was signed on to score Bridge Too Far. But Steven Spielberg told him, no, you should work on this little film called Star Wars. And he felt like, no, I need to do a big film, not this small indie film. And it was Steven Spielberg who talked him into doing Star Wars. Wow. And George Lucas says that Star Wars, half of the movie of Star Wars is John Williams' score. And you have to admit that that's true. Let's see, and Jaws. Famously, the shark was constantly broken, but what you don't realize unless you think is the appearance of that shark is all John Williams music. You rarely see the shark in the movie, but when you hear that music, that shark in the ocean and coming at you. And then one last interesting thing about that is the temp track that Spielberg used for Jaws was the horror music. This high pitched squeaking, and John Williams, no, we're not going that direction. And he decided that what this theme is, because it takes place in the ocean, it needs to have a pirate theme, a nautical theme to it, and that's what you've got there. The biggest point this movie makes, and this is the point that one of the reasons why it's the best movie, and one of the main reasons why it is so important is, You have John Williams, Steven Spielberg, and George Lucas. Can you, off the top of your head, think why are these three men great? What made them great?
The music in their movies, and I'll tell you this.
No, hold on. No. I want to answer this question, but the reason they're great is because all three studied the classics. John Williams, his entire life was studying the classics, the classical music, music of the time, jazz. He learned every genre. He understood the classics, and he applies it to the way he makes music. Spielberg the same way. George Lucas, they are students of the classic films and want to replicate that. And this is something that filmmakers today don't do. They could care less about the past. They could care less about what was great in the past. And that's why there are no great filmmakers right now, based on these. The final thing about this is John Williams is the last of the symphonic composers. In fact, in the 70s when he began, movies were already doing soundtracks, getting popular music for their soundtracks. John Williams refused to go that direction, and everything is symphonic. And in only 2 cases did he ever use a synthesizer in his scores.
You mean a soundtrack composed of
original orchestral music,
like pop culture songs to populate a soundtrack? There was always the soundtrack, which is songs, and then there's the score. I'll tell you this. I don't know if you remember when you would take your CDs and you would make a copy to go in your digital library on your iPod.
Yeah.
The majority of the CDs that I owned were movie soundtracks.
Yeah.
And I had everything John Williams.
And from this documentary, you're not the only person to have done that.
Yes. So yeah, it's one of those where so I would just play it certain times a year. I mean, his score is so iconic. The fact that he's involved with the movie, even if the movie doesn't land, he did a great score for a movie, Nixon.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did Nixon. That score is incredible. Oliver Stone's Nixon. I would listen to that score. I'm like, my God, he makes a film. And I'll tell you this also, what I know about Christopher Nolan, he is obsessed with having a great score for his film. I mean, he mostly works with Hans Zimmer. I recently went to that concert, which was amazing. Hans Zimmer, very prolific. I don't think he's reached John Williams' height.
No, not even close.
Not even close.
He's great.
There's no one
great, but not John Williams great.
Yeah, no, John Williams is here, and here's everybody else. And everybody else is really good. Jerry Goldsmith. I could sit there and go James Horner. I could talk to you about film scores all day. But John Williams is the top of the game. And I mean, what motivated this documentary? It gets into his personal life. It goes through the scores. Are Lucas and Spielberg in the movie talking?
Yes, they are. John? Yes, they are. I believe Lucas does do interviews. Spielberg definitely. There's a lot of Spielberg in this.
How is the doc structured?
It's just basically a lot of it is. It doesn't go straight through his life. It feels like a traditional doc, but it does jump around a bit because there are points that they want to make. It even gets into him resigning from the Boston Pops after taking the role. There's another thing. So one of the reasons this movie is great, first of all, let's just get out there, the member berries. You're just not gonna not feel overwhelmed with emotion listening to these scores, listening to the scores against the movie. And I will tell you this, the Schindler's List portion of this will make you cry. It is just so beautiful. And to have it now set in context of why it was written, the importance of that song, and then to hear that song is the tear-jerking moment of the film. Full of memory, and the stories are just fascinating. And this guy's life, with the exception of the death of his wife, this guy has lived a storied life. A life that everyone would be jealous of living themselves. He is just a nice guy. He is respected. He has done more for the world and humanity than most people you can think of. And you've seen he comes to the Hollywood Bowl every year. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have seen that every year that it's here. I'll get tickets. It's an amazing concert.
Yeah.
Because they show scenes from movies up on the screen, and you see like Raiders of the Lost Ark, and they're playing it live with the it's like a whole moment. The crowd is all ages, all walks of life,
and it's very varied too. I remember the second time I saw him, it featured a tuba concerto.
Well, they do different stuff, and he'll play original stuff there that's not out yet.
Yeah.
So I've been fortunate to go to see that, and it's the respect that he has is amazing. So
and like with the Boston Pops, you know, yes, he does music. He does popular music, which is the reason he had to resign, because the orchestra hated the choices of music because it was all popular. It was all movie scores, and they wanted to play real classical music. And there was kind of a compromise that was made for his return. And when you see the Boston Pops, one of the things he brought to the Boston Pops was an exploration of music, to where he could actually study music while conducting it, and therefore just building his repertoire of inspiration for future scores. It's just it's got everything: good stories, member berries, emotion. I mean, that's the thing about the movie and music. It just draws emotion out of you, which is something that movies don't do a lot, haven't been doing lately. So highest recommendation. Look, if this is my favorite movie so far this year, it tells you the quality of movies we're watching right now. Because we constantly talk about it. We have not seen the movie yet. And to me, it's weird that the movie for me right now is a documentary about John Williams.
That will be on Disney Plus, produced by Kathleen Kennedy, released through Lucasfilm.
And she may win an Oscar for this.
Okay, well, if she goes out on a high note, John Williams' work is done. Yeah.
And I'll tell you, Frank Marshall has been producing and directing some really incredible documentaries for Disney Plus. See the Beach Boys documentary. We mentioned it last time, but ultimately, Beach Boys documentaries are basically Brian Wilson documentaries. The one Frank Marshall did, a pure Beach Boys documentary, and I loved it for that.
Let's go to comments here. We have a lot.
Yeah. Jerry Goldsmith and Ennio Morricone have more scores. Yes, Thomas, but how many can you hum just by the mentioning of the title?
Right. Thomas Pickett for 5. Thank you. You've been dropping out. Your internet is drop out like once a minute.
Okay. Laura Buckles, Alan's fangirl.
Alan fangirling hard.
Akanika, member for 27 months. Have a great weekend, everyone. Yes.
Oh, thanks for that.
Jimmy Francis, Spielberg said that he laughed at Williams first time he played the Jaws theme because it was so simple. Then he couldn't get it out of his head, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
Ron Henriquez.
And by the way, I had the Jaws score when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that and Star Wars, which had the fold out. I mean, I probably got, if John Williams did a score, I had records when I was a kid in the 70s, and I would just buy that stuff, stare at the album covers, read all the liner notes on the inside. It was like, that was it. The movie soundtracks were the soundtrack of my life. So I'm like, your enthusiasm means I cannot wait. So
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the implication was that John Williams pretty much wrote that opening scene of Jaws with the girl in the water. Yeah. That was all written based off of John Williams' music. Ron Henriquez, John Williams used a technique called le motif, which is a recurring theme and melody throughout a piece of music. His skill lies in the few notes he chooses for those themes. Star Wars is a great example of that. Every character has a theme in Star Wars, and even in the sequels, the Princess Leia theme comes back and the Han Solo theme comes back.
Yeah, and then as some have said, about bad movie soundtracks, too many notes. That's a quote from a movie.
By the way, the sequels, I would say the Rey soundtrack, the Rey theme is incredible.
The Ray theme is very good.
Mhm.
Like no one.
That's
Look,
the standout of the sequels. I think is the Ray theme.
two of the only things, or there's actually some things. Let's give the Star Wars sequels some credit. Okay, you can't complain about the music. The effects are very good. I think they are well cast with new characters.
Mhm.
It was the directing and the writing that was bad, right? I mean, that's in the end. That's kind of crucial. Let's get through these comments.
Yeah, a serious man. Jurassic Park theme is my favorite. Yeah, there's a whole section on Jurassic Park. Dorothy Yeager, fun fact. John Williams did the Lost in Space theme. Yep, it's brought up in he was Johnny Williams back then. John Manilang, Jay Willa the Goat.
Jay Willie the Goat. Hey, John Manilang.
By the way, Johnny Williams was the name he used through his TV career. When he went into film, it became John Williams. Bill S. Preston Esquire. Disney makes a great movie, puts it on streaming instead of theaters. They really messed up everything. Yeah, that's why it's going on tour in some quality theaters.
Is it going to be in some theaters?
I hope so.
God, I would go see this movie in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I mean, they showed it at AFI 2 days ago in the Chinese IMAX theater. I mean, that's the way you see this movie. Yeah. Seed. Did we get ADL? Is Alan's favorite movies from? Oh, yeah, we got that one. It's from Disney Plus. It's from Lucasfilm, and it's produced by Kathleen Kennedy.
All right. Well, we have 2 more films to review, so don't leave. We have a special guest joining us right now, so let's cue this up. Let's cue this up, Alan. So,
yes,
friend of the show, documentary filmmaker Tommy Avallone is here to tell us about his new doc, The House From. Hey, Tommy, good to see you.
Hey, Tommy.
How's it going? I can see you perfect. Love the video. Is that in your house?
Man.
Is that your house?
Yeah.
Oh my, you have are those VHS tapes?
Dude, it's like VHS, DVD, Blu-ray.
What are the rental prices?
Yeah, wouldn't that be great? You can hear me okay, right?
Yeah, I hear you perfect. How's it going?
I made sure to plug in a microphone for you.
Oh, thank you. Hey, by the way, I contributed to the Kickstarter for this movie.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, we're a little delayed on some of that stuff. You know how that stuff goes.
Whatever. I never worry about movies that I contribute to. It's like, look, you'll get to it. Whatever the reward package I chose, you're going to get it. But you told me about this movie a while back. Tell our audience.
Yeah, I mean, God, we started this in 2019. You know, it was so funny. I was actually at a party with John Stamos, and he introduced me to Jeff Franklin, who created the Full House, and he owned the Full House at the time. And you know, I grew up in the Philadelphia area, New Jersey. I was so close to Rocky Steps and the Quick Stop and RC. So like loving locations, I always thought I wanted to do living in a famous house documentary. And so Jeff, I was like, yeah, come over to our San Francisco house and like in a month and we'll film there. And that's how it started. We tried to pitch as a TV show, and no one wants a show that doesn't have true crime in it. So that didn't happen. I was like, I don't need anyone. I'll just do it myself. And we did it. I did half of it, then shot Barney, then finished the rest. And Jason Lee is our narrator. Ryan Reynolds is our executive producer. So we're killing it.
Okay, quick aside. What's it like to meet Ryan Reynolds? I mean,
I'll let you know when I find out.
Oh, you never met him?
No. Yeah, not yet.
How do you get a Zoom call? Come on, man.
Not yet. No. Well, so my old agent works for him now. So that's how the connection sort of was able to work out. But, I do have a Ryan Reynolds section over here. I have, let's see here, Two Guys, a Girl at a Pizza Place. You got some Van Wilder, Just Friends, Voices, all the Deadpool movies, Free Guy. I can't even see with the glare, but there's a lot of stuff over there.
All right. When you told me about this, great idea. Such a great idea. I mean, you walk this line with pop culture. You did your Santa movie, which I thought was amazing. Your Bill Murray film, Bill Murray Stories, is so great, so heartfelt and touching. And when you told me this, I was so excited because I know some of these locations, Back to the Future House, Halloween. I know where the exterior of the Wayne Manor for the Adam West TV series Batman is in Pasadena.
Dude, everything's in South Pasadena. Everything. I mean, there's one street in particular, Bushnell. Is it either Bushnell Street or Bushnell Avenue, where it's like there's Biff's house from Back to the Future. Then when he kicks the ball on the roof, that's Luke Wilson's house from Old School, which is right next to Lorraine's house from Back to the Future, which is the same house as Teen Wolf. And then down the street is George McFly. Down the street is Ghost Dad. And across the street is 30-something. That's one block.
Oh my God. Hey, and they film a lot in Pasadena. There's a bridal shop. There are two things. The bridal shop right on Green Street in Pasadena, where they're always shooting something. And then the park, Central Park in Pasadena, they're always doing murder shows. It's always where they come upon the body, right? So,
dude, yeah. I mean,
and Castle Green, of course, if you know Castle Green.
Okay, yeah, no, the one guy on Bushnell, like we just talked to him, and he's like, yeah, they shot one of those crime shows at my house, and I watched the TV to see what's happening. He's like, and there was a murder in my house, like, that no one knows, but like, yeah, I mean, NCIS, Criminal Minds, I mean, they just run South Pasadena.
Hey, do you mind to give the audience, we have like 1,300 people watching live. Let's give them a taste of it. Can I show your trailer?
Of course.
Can we watch it? It's 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's watch the trailer for, please don't copyright claim us though. Please,
I don't even know how to do that.
But yeah, let's watch the trailer. It's 2 minutes.
You gotta start from
Golden Girls. Isn't this cool? Who would have thought it was real?
Home is where the heart is. But what if you lived in a famous house?
I owned the Pee Wee house.
A house that is extremely well known for appearing on a television show or in a movie.
Stifler was here. They were peeing from up there.
For many people who visit the house from their favorite TV show, it can feel like they're part of the show.
Hey, Miss Parker!
We feel a connection to them because we grew up watching them.
For the homeowner,
people would come and take fixings off the house.
It can feel like trespassing.
She stood up and was like, "Get the fuck out of here, asshole." She sleeps with the shotgun next to her bed.
Oh my God.
You're walking in the footsteps of history.
Nostalgia means homesickness or a longing for a place that felt like home.
You want to have a birthday bash at Buffalo Bill's backyard? Why not?
The Vaseline mud wrestling did not occur in our basement, unfortunately, so we don't.
A lot of people don't realize that people actually live here.
Letters come for the characters and said, I just want to thank you for being a friend.
Doesn't that look like Michael Jackson? It was.
Hundreds of fans descended on the street.
Thousands.
Multiple DeLoreans.
Wait, you weren't even here.
No, I know. So tell what happened.
So I was here that day.
My house was turned into a Lego set.
My house is what they come to see. You probably seen it on TV.
Uh-oh, it's locked. I don't have a key.
The house from.
It's more popular than me.
So fun, right?
Oh my God. It's like, I mean, houses are famous. It's like what they said in that, it's the sense of home.
Yeah.
Like, so you would, you approach it from the famous house itself, then the fans of that, like, you know, the multiple Back to the Future homes. And then also, what's it like to live there and have, I mean, these are celebrity homes, I guess. I mean, the homes themselves are
the home is a celebrity.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, we kind of made it like a National Geographic documentary, but instead of like lions and tigers and bears, it was famous houses because these things are out in the wild, you know? And there are some people who have great relationship with the house. There's some people who do not have great relationships with the house. But also there's people who, we've lost the house from Alf. We've lost Family Matters, 2 houses from What's Happening, Charles in Charge, Addams Family. So there are these people who go around when like a family is ready to let go of their home. They try to buy it and preserve it, like the Silence of the Lambs house, Twilight, Short Circuit, Christmas Story. I think they just did it with the Poltergeist house, where they take these houses and, depending on the neighborhoods, they could turn into a business museum / Airbnb, and it's really awesome.
Let me ask, does it increase the value of the home?
I don't know, man. It's tough. Like, like the Golden Girls house sold for like $4 million. And the people did not buy the house because they're Golden Girls house fans. They just bought it because it was in Brentwood, so I really don't think so. I think the popularity of the listings are increased. So maybe more people were able to see it, and therefore it could go up like when the bidding happens. But for the most part, I think for a couple years ago too, it was maybe a little bit harder to sell Famous House because they realized how many people would be going to this, but I think now people realize that they can make a business out of it. Depending the neighborhood too. Like, you're not going to do that in San Francisco. You're not going to do that in Winnetka, for like Home Alone or Full House, because these houses are $4 million homes.
Wow. We've got 1,300 people watching live and a
Nice.
lot of questions for you.
Here.
The chat is on fire. Let's get to questions for you here. Start from the top. Solomon Thornton, greetings, Sir Tommy. Loving the home video setup. Any advice for beginning filmmakers?
I would just keep doing it. It's funny you mentioned I Am Santa Claus. That our 10th anniversary Blu-ray is coming out in a month, and it's one of those scenarios where, like, even before making Santa, I had been doing it for probably 10 years before that, and that was my first documentary. I would just say, just keep doing it, keep failing. Don't feel like you have to like put your first thing out, I'm so grateful that YouTube wasn't a thing when I was a kid, because no one has access to my first movies, and yeah, just keep doing it. And because I forget who said it. It's like, the most successful people are the ones who just didn't quit, because eventually, you'll get better, and eventually people, will have a job where they could hire you or give you your first chance. I think it's Amy Poehler said, like, you're bad for 7 years, and then one of your friends hires you,
Right. More questions.
Okay.
Razorburn asks, how was it like meeting with Bill Murray? Was he happy with the doc? Bill Murray stories.
Yeah, I've been in the area. I've breathed the same air as Bill Murray 3 times. He does not know who I am, I don't think. Although, so Mick Foley, who is in I Am Santa Claus, met Bill Murray a couple different times. Mick Foley is Nora Jones's Santa Claus. So in Brooklyn, Nora Jones would do these shows, and Bill Murray would show up. And Mick was really trying to convince Bill to see the documentary. He's like, "You really got to see it, Bill. It's really, really good." And Bill's like, "Yeah, I've heard about it, but I'll never watch it." And he's like, "But it's really good." And Bill's like, "Maybe one day if I get the flu."
That's good. Well, hoping I don't know.
Joel, his brother, loved it. So
there you go.
That's as close as I'll get.
Bimo Better says, this looks fun.
Oh, yeah.
And Dutch McColland, my favorite building isn't a house, it's the fire station from Ghostbusters. I mean, when I see your trailer, I think this is a TV show. Like, you can't, you can do the movie, introduces the concept, but you could do an episode on one location.
Chris.
Right? Yeah.
You're preaching to the choir, like we tried to pitch it, and they're like, "Where's the sizzle? Where's the stakes?" I think Netflix, when we talked to them, they're like, "Well, we wouldn't need you. We could just make the houses that made us." Like, it was like there always is a reason for it, not because there's no true crime in it. No one's been killed in any of these houses. So
I get sucked into the true crime on Netflix. I'm gonna.
Oh, yeah?
But a lot of people are asking, like Razorburn asked, the house from Breaking Bad, Andy, Sarah Palmer's house. Andy makes Star Wars. Sarah Palmer's house from Twin Peaks. Are those in the doc or on the list?
We do feature Jesse's apartment and Walter White's house in the documentary. We don't speak to the owner of Walter White's house, but we kind of learn from her from afar. I should have went to Twin Peaks. I did not do that. I'm very sorry.
Yeah. CMC asks, what was the hardest home to access?
I don't know. I mean, it was either, there was no like difficulty. It was either a no or yes. You know, like the Boy Meets World house is the house that I really wanted to do. And they just never got back to me. The Sopranos house is a house I really want to do because the guy who lives there actually built that house. Like he designed it. And he's a fantastic guy. Actually, he let me go to the house, but he was just private and didn't want to be on camera. So there's a lot of that. It's like there was no middle ground. It was either I'm in or I'm not.
Aid Ellis 24. What was the farthest you traveled to seek out one of these famous homes?
Well, so I live in New Jersey, and we drove to almost like an hour outside of Pittsburgh for for the Silence of the Lambs house. And that was the furthest we all know, but I would fly to California. We were in California, we were in Oregon, we were in Chicago, we were in Tulsa, we were in Cleveland, we were in an hour outside Pittsburgh, we did New York. So we were a lot of different places. That's the best part about making these docs is traveling, especially like when you're in Chicago and you can eat deep dish pizza,
Sweet. The nerd far away asks, hail, Mr. Avallone. What house was your favorite?
God, these people are so nice. Sir Avallone, Mr. Avallone. Thank you. What was my favorite? I love the Kane Harley Waite house because I'm such a nerd for Kane Harley Waite, and we got to bring Ethan Umbre and Joel there back to the house, and seeing Ethan like go Amanda, was like everything to me. But I also really love the Full House because there wasn't a time in which that house wasn't constantly having fans outside of it. Like it was crazy, and when I walked out of it, no one got out of my way. It was like I was like the Backstreet Boys video where you're getting off the plane, everyone's like cheering for you. Like it was just like it blew my mind that no one just wouldn't get out of your way. You're leaving your house. Like you would think like, please let me leave my house,
Uncle Pappy Wolf for 2. What was the weirdest story tied to a house?
I don't know about weirdest, but like going back to the Kane Harley Waite house, I was surprised about how many places that's been in. It's it was a house from Kane Harley Waite. It was Stifler's house from American Pie 1 and 2. Episodes of Ghost Whisperer, NCIS, Criminal Minds. Tim Allen shot a movie there. Lindsay Lohan shot a movie there. Always Sunny in Philadelphia shot there. This Is Us. Did I say This Is Us? That shot there. So many things shot there. It was unbelievable.
Do you know why they keep going back to that house? Was it?
I think so. It's like there's this great thing that they do for the homeowners. Like for some reason, you could shoot 14 days there and get paid for 14 days without being taxed. So there is like slightly like a decent business to be had with this. And the house from Kane Harley Waite is in Altadena. And the way it's positioned, it's got like a large front lawn. So it's really, really great to get an establishing shot where you don't necessarily have to go on the street. And also the living room areas and the kitchen areas are just big. There's a lot of room. So you can just kind of put the cameras. And it's like, it's the same thing they say with like child actors. You're not just casting the child, you're casting the parent. And I think the homeowners are so good that people just love working with them.
Let's see. We've got one final question here. What famous from 8Ls 24? What famous houses are currently under threat of redevelopment?
Well, the Outsiders house, Danny Boy O'Connor from House of Pain, he saved that. That house almost got knocked down because it was like in an area where they're knocking down houses in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So he definitely saved that house. I don't know. It's interesting, because like Family Matters got knocked down such a long time ago. Alf, some of these houses just need to be renovated. I'm the saddest with the houses from What's Happening. That show with Rerun and Raj and Dwayne. Like that, like 2 of the 3 houses that are knocked down, and it's so funny because it's all like the Hancock Park area.
Yeah. And I have a final question before we let you go. is this going to be turned into a series? You have the proof of concept. The movie is done. And what I know about you is you are I think our audience should take inspiration from you because you worked for like a decade to get to your first feature. You made movies before, but your first feature that was commercially released, I Am Santa Claus, which by the way, there's a great watch party on there on our YouTube channel with
We
you.
actually put that in our Blu-ray.
Yes,
Oh,
I said it's great. And you're very prolific. Like your topics are, pop culture and you go deep and you finish these projects. You say you're going to do something, you do it. So I'm so impressed. I don't know what you're working on next, but I can see this as a series. Also tell us what you're working on next.
The MySpace documentary.
What?
Yeah.
That will be epic.
Yeah. Are
you going to talk to Tom?
I mean, that's the goal, right? I mean, we definitely are talking right now to the other creators of MySpace, and we're right now Chris, I don't know if, it's so tough. I'm sure you guys deal with this stuff all the time, but just switching your mindset, I just got back from California doing pre-production for MySpace, doing press this week. Our premiere is tonight at Kevin Smith's Film Festival. Our movie comes out Sunday on Ryan Reynolds' Maximum Effort channel, and then Monday on iTunes, Amazon, Google, and then right back into pre-production shooting early November for MySpace. So I've never had the movies overlap like this before.
Right.
Obviously, it's good problems to have, but it's just so crazy. You're like, okay, houses, MySpace, houses, MySpace. It's just your mind's crazy. I have no idea where I'm at right now.
But congratulations. So you're going to the Smod Castle.
Yeah. Tonight, I'm actually, after we're done this, I'm gonna pick up my son from school, and then I'm gonna go to the Kevin Smith. Have you ever been there? It's fantastic. I mean, Kevin's the best.
I've never been, but I saw the 4:30 movie that was shot there. So
Yeah.
I feel like I've been there.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I mean, so Kevin will be there. He'll intro the movie. We'll do a Q&A afterwards. We're selling DVDs there. So I'm really, really excited because Kevin came to our premiere of I Am Santa Claus, and I mean, God, I used to go to Vulgarthon every year at his area. So being such a big fan, I have Clerks and Mallrats both on VHS, DVD, 10th anniversary DVD, and Blu-ray. So big fan. So it's always great to see him actually come see my movies,
Well, congratulations again. So people can see it on VOD next week.
Yeah, Monday it'll be on iTunes, Amazon. So yeah, get those. If you're gonna buy it anywhere, do the iTunes because they do the charting. So it's always fun. Bill Murray Stories was #1 documentary for an hour when it came out. For an hour.
Get a screenshot.
I did, dude. I was right before I was about to go into a meeting. I was like, it's #1. Screenshot. Came out of the meeting, no longer #1. So I'm so happy I screenshot it.
Hopefully Ryan Reynolds, I mean, he's got a big social media following. If he just posts about it.
Yeah. Well, Maximum Effort has been doing a fantastic job. We're partnering with them. This movie was completely independent. Raymond Esposito is my executive producer. We have Adam F. Goldberg, but we just scrapped on and just did this because no one was going to greenlight this. So we just did it ourselves because we wanted to see it. I've peed in so many famous houses. It's unbelievable. It's a goal I never thought I would have. But it was something I wanted to do. Majority of the houses are all movies I loved and wanted to check out. So putting it together, and I mean, God, and working with Jason Lee for narration, for, My Name is Earl, is a dream come true.
Can you make the peeing in famous houses an extra on the Blu-ray?
It's funny that. When we did the Santa Claus doc, it was we would have the mics constantly rolling, and I have audio of so many old Santas just pissing. Yeah, you just hear them go.
Well, Tommy, thank you so much. Friend of the show. Love seeing you rise in your career. And the thing is, you've done something that a lot of other filmmakers I've encountered don't do. You come back to us. A lot of them go and they don't, I know them early on in the rise, and then I don't hear from them.
And then they get famous.
You're right. Seriously.
Well, I actually was just recommending your show to my friend Ryan Petrillo. He did this horror movie that you got to check out. It's called Weird. Oh God. It's something Weird Society. God, he's going to kill me.
Send him my way. Don't worry about it. Pop me an email.
It's a horror movie. It's fantastic. It's it's weird. Weird's in the title, but you got to check it out. And I told him you have to check out your show. So
cool. Tommy, thank you so much. friend of the show. Have a great day. Go get your son. You gotta go
I
get
still
your
have an
son.
hour. I'm not just like waiting. It's like he's
Okay,
not just
cool.
waiting outside school because I'm talking to Chris Gore.
All right, take care, Tommy. Thanks
See you guys.
again.
Thank you.
I'll
Easy.
come back when your next movie is out.
Absolutely.
Cool. Later.
See ya.
That was awesome.
That was.
Love Tommy. Love Tommy. Couple things here. All right. I want to remind people, guess what we are doing? Film Threat Election Special on November 5th. We are doing it. That's right, Alan. Did you know we're doing this?
Yes, I did.
And here we go. Here is the poster to promote the Film Threat Election 2024 special on November 5th, a special live stream, an evening live stream, if you will. Yes, we will be looking at memes. We'll be looking at funny videos. Maybe we'll look at election results. I don't know. We'll see how the night goes. We are going to have fun. We're going to have fun. So we will do that on November 5th. Join us. I might be in Vegas because I'm going for AFM. So there you go.
You're gonna be out of state for the day you should be voting.
Yeah, no, I'm voting for sure, but I'll be gone.
Right.
I'll be gone. You know what we're gonna do? We are going to save Conclave because I want you to see it. We will review Weird Vision Society. Tommy texts me. Weird Vision Society is the name of the horror film. We'll put it on our radar. We will interview that filmmaker. We will save because we don't have a lot of movies next week. I have seen the movie Your Monster. I will give you my review next week. And Alan and I will both review Conclave next week because Alan will see it. And I just want to say thank you to Naveen, who became a YouTube member. Check out, we have a Q&A with Elton John on the website for members only. So check that out. And be sure to tune in for our election special. It's going to be a lot of fun. And also a quick reminder to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, sign up as a member, join us on X, Discord, Rumble, and Instagram. Buy our merch at shop.filmthreat.com. Thank you to everyone who super chatted today. We appreciate you so much. Thank you to Lord Thoth. Thank you. Look, Atomic Lori doesn't get thanked. She doesn't thank herself. She's too humble. Atomic Lori walking around with her Nightmare Before Christmas Crocs. I get my Croc news. Atomic Lori is the #1 source for Croc news.
She is a Croc evangelist.
Yes. Yeah, she is. She's a Croc critic, as it were. So thank you to Atomic Lori, and thank you to Glenn Nuccio, Glenn Brown, our producer, and thank you to you for watching our live streams. You know, I know we're not always talking, the hot topics, but we do like to review everything that's out there. I could review Your Monster, but it's in limited release. Conclave is limited right now, goes wide. We will get those movies. We will review those movies next week. Because we're short on movies for next week. It's Halloween, right? So just come to Film Threat Livecast. We'll review the movies that others do not. And we'll also do the big films. Alan, what do you got coming up this weekend?
Okay, I'm going to the world premiere of Here tonight.
Nice.
And I will also be at the world premiere of the Wallace and Gromit movie on Sunday.
Nice. I will see here, a bookstore in New York City. If anyone's from New York remembers that bookstore, I used to sell Film Threat at the bookstore. It was called See Here. Anyways, I will also see here next week. We will have a review next week. A lot of films to review. Maybe you're excited about them, maybe you're not. But Alan saw a movie that was unexpected that's now on my list.
Yes.
It's on the list, baby.
Yeah, you got to search hard for that one. I don't know what's playing next.
Well, so is it going to be in theaters at all, or?
Oh gosh, you want to vamp?
And did we make this our new theme song? Do we make this our new theme song?
Movie and TV show reviews that you need. Film threats on firework, planting the seeds. Film threats, we keep it real. Dive into the stories, you know the deal. Turn your phone, it's the place to be. Movie lovers,
Alan.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. From blockbusters to indie gold. Oh yeah, Chris and Alan break the mold. Pop your corn, turn down the lights. Get ready to groove through movie nights. Film threats, we keep it real. Dive into the stories, you know the deal. Turn the phone, it's the place to be. Movie lovers gather round. 1, 2, 3. Grab your popcorn, sit right down. Film threats, the hottest show in town. Yeah. Laughs, chills, and deep debate.
Should this?
Chris and Alan, let's celebrate.
Yeah, you gotta cut it in half. Like that's too long.
What?
It's too long.
It's Friday, baby.
Film threats, we keep it real. Dive into the stories, you know
Hard to
the
dance
deal.
sitting down.
Turn the phone, it's the place to be.
Hard to
Movie
dance
lovers gather
sitting down.
round. 1, 2, 3.
Alan, we will see you next week. Monday versus Wednesday, Hollywood on the Rocks. We'll see you, Alan.
Let's get out of here.